We are with Chris Deladuce, founder and CEO of Texoma Classics in Sherman, Texas. Chris, can you give us a little of the history of Texoma Classics and what it is that your business does?
We are a full frame-off restoration shop that focuses on anything from antique cars, late 1890s right on up through the 1970s. We do full frame-off restorations, rotisserie, everything from bumper to bumper, inside and outside of the car.
In restoring classic cars from the past, what are some of the challenges that a customer must be aware of in the restoration process?
Well, doing full frame-off restorations, one of the things we run into often is the problem of rust. As you can imagine, these cars are 50, 60 years old or older, and over time they, of course, rust. And what we call in this business the unforeseen circumstances can add up. I mean, it can be costly, and it's not uncommon for 100, 200, 300 hours of rust repair that does add to the cost of the car.
I noticed Texoma Classics is now offering a new service for customers who love classic cars from the past, but don't want to restore one because perhaps they already went down that road before. And Texoma Classics has a new service called the Recreations. Can you tell us about that and what it means?
Yeah, we are creating or recreating various iconic muscle cars, including up through one Euro exotic car. What this does is it allows us to build a brand new car. Let's use as an example a 1970 Chevelle. We can build the client a brand new 1970 Chevelle based on reproduction parts that are manufactured by various companies throughout the U.S. It gives us the capability of building a full muscle car without the pitfalls and the unforeseen circumstances that we run into during a normal restoration. It's not for the gentleman that wants an all-original car. It's really for the gentleman that wants a car, not worried about numbers matching, not worried about total purist standpoint, but he wants the car, he wants the visual effects of it with everything brand new. We're able to incorporate new drivetrains, transmissions, suspensions, stereos, Bluetooth, every aspect that you want in today's car, but have it look and operate like an original muscle car.
And I noticed from your site that just launched on this, on your webpage, that you're actually doing LS3 and 605 Coyote engines. So these are, again, all the modern power plants, but with the classic body style and interior.
Yeah, that's the beauty about doing the recreation is we can build it pretty close to original as a factory car, but more exciting today is to build it as a resto mod. The resto mod includes the big engines, the LS3s, the Coyotes. Basically, we can put any engine in that a client would like. We can build this car to the client's specifications, including all the bells and whistles that he may want.
What are some of the advantages of a classic recreation versus a restoration?
Well, as we said, the restorations do come with some unforeseen circumstances, and the recreation allows us to build a car exactly like the client wants it without having to deal with rust and other issues that come into play in a restoration.
Can a customer choose the various components of their desired recreation, and does Texoma Classics provide take on a consulting role in that process?
Yes, we begin with the client sitting down in a meeting and discussing all of the features that he would like to see included. He can keep as much of the originality in it, or he can go as wild as he'd like. He can keep original power plants in it, or he can go, as an example, with the LS3 or the Coyote. He can go with a factory original restoration, or he can do a custom, be it leather or other material, custom interior that allows him to have the vehicle exactly how he wants it. Today's vehicles drive much better and handle better. We can put in new drivetrains, new suspension, and the vehicle will drive like today's, but look like yesterday's, or look like an antique car or a classic car.
So you walk me through what that customer Texoma Classics does in that initial phase of the process to design essentially the classic the customer wants. I mean, is it like a menu process?
Yeah, the client would come in, and again, we sit down, have a meeting, and we discuss all the features that he wants. And we have all those features available that he would be able to check through. It's basically a checklist that allows him to go through the entire process. We also have a standard process that we utilize for doing the restorations. It's referred to as our Christmas list. We go through that process as well. And it takes the client from the very earliest of stages right on through delivering the vehicle to his home.
Is a classic recreation usually less time consuming than a typical restoration? And if so, why is that?
Well, it's it's still a large project. It's, we're not trying to push this off as a cheap economic play. It's not. I mean, these are going to be high-end cars that come with a different set of features that a restoration would. Again, it's not going to come with a numbers-matching vehicle. It's not going to be for the purists. But what it is for the gentleman that wants that perfect car that looks like a classic car that has the features of today's cars. The benefit to that from a financial standpoint is that we're not going to have to deal with the unforeseen circumstances that do come up in a older car restoration. Therefore, that 200-300 hours that may be associated to a restoration versus this recreation will go out. Will be taken out of the project.
Well, I presume a classic recreation is not an inexpensive car either, but are they typically a little less costly than a full frame-off restoration?
Yeah, again, this is not a vehicle that's going to be designed to be cheap. It's going to be a vehicle that's designed to utilize the recreation parts that are out there and available. These parts will not come in rusted. They will not have dents. They're not going to have any kind of problems. They're not going to be 60 years old. This would be just like buying a brand new car, as if you were buying that 70 Chevelle today.
And you mentioned the 70 Chevelle. I mean, in your selection of creations, is a 68 Mustang Fastback available, a 69 Camaro, the Barracudas, all of those iconic cars of the 60s and 70s, as well as maybe some from the 50s, like a Bel Air.
There are a good number of cars available. We have a number of manufacturers that we're partnered with, and that list of cars is available and found on our website.
And that's what I was going to ask you now. If I wanted a brand new classic muscle car from the days gone by, but brand new, and wanted it from Texoma Classics, what do I need to do to start the process in communicating with you and with your team?
Yeah, the best thing to do is, the first thing to do is take your time, have a cup of coffee, and go check out our website. Go to the website. There are 2 cars out there that are currently documented. The Euro Exotic, as discussed earlier, and a Shelby Recreation. Take a look at those. Those will give you some examples of pricing. It'll give you some examples of options, and from there you can dream. You can build the car exactly like you want it. We're doing a number of iconic muscle cars as well as this Euro Exotic. The Euro Exotic is designed not to be in competition, obviously, with a Ferrari or a Porsche. We're building a vehicle that brings tremendous horsepower, tremendous performance, but really, compared to the price tags of those Euro cars, it's an economic car that gives you the looks of a European car without the cost.
Terrific. And so people can go to TexomaClassics.com to find that sections on the what if with regards to the classic recreations, and you can find Texoma Classics also on Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, Instagram, and Pinterest.
That's correct. If you go to the website at TexomaClassics.com, you will find all of our social media links. You can first start out by checking the website, going to the social medias. Then if you want more information, feel free to give us a call. The phone number's on there, or send us an email that is on there as well, and give us a call, and we can start out with any kind of questions you have, answering them as you would. And we'd love to have you out. Come on out to the shop. We'll give you a tour of the shop, tell you how we operate. We can sit down and go over some of the details with you in person.
Terrific. Chris, thank you for your time today. I greatly appreciate it. Texoma Classics, doing classic recreations.